towards humanity to walk, to go towards this path, to achieving these great stations and maqamat. Indeed, on the personality of the Prophet, Ayatollah Musi, we're going to discuss thoroughly, and I have been asked to look into the personality of our sixth Imam. It is not out of wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that our sixth Imam is also born on the day which the Prophet was born. Every act of Allah is with full of wisdom, because He's Al-Hakim. So whatsoever He carries it out, it is with wisdom. So our sixth Imam being born on the very day which is the birth of the Prophet, as there is an enormous amount of wisdom hidden behind it. The Prophet who brought Islam, the Prophet who brought the Sharia, and our sixth Imam who established it and provided the Ummah with the methodology of Sharia. And these two personalities, the in-depth that we have towards these two personalities is also towards our sixth Imam as well. Because it is our sixth Imam through which even today what we see different schools of thoughts, different sects such as Hanafi, such as Shafi'i, such as Maliki, all of them were students of our sixth Imam. So Islam is indebted towards the sixth Imam as well. The humanity is indebted towards the sixth Imam as well.
محمد وآل محمد صلوات.
As the alqab, the titles given to the Masumeen, given to the prophets, is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the title given to the sixth Imam is also from Allah. And as we said, and as we established earlier on the principles of hikmah, that every act of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with hikmah, is with wisdom. Our sixth Imam's title is As-Sadiq. And the fiqh of Shia among all of the Islamic Ummah, which is thoroughly discussed in Cairo, in other institutions, other religious institutions, the fiqh of our of Shia is known as fiqh as-Sadiq. So therefore the title which is given to the sixth Imam and who is responsible of establishing the school of thought which is considered to be Jafari, providing the methodology and providing that fiqh is considered as fiqh as-Sadiq. So the only fiqh that is known among all of the school of thought, the Shia fiqh, is considered fiqh as-Sadiq. So indeed there is an enormous amount of, once again, hikmah, wisdom hidden behind the title is given. See, titles are given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You and I are not able to really provide and give any title. I mean, if you look at in our history of the ulama as well, there were so many shuhada, but the title is Shahidul Awwal, Shahidul Sani, Shahidul Salis. In between these shuhada, there were many shuhada, but the titles were never known as Shahidul Awwal, Shahidul Sani, or Shahidul Salis, or Shahidul Rabi. Like for example, Ayatollah Shahid Muhammad Baqir Sadr. Blessings and peace be upon all of the shuhada. So these titles are really given by Allah. And for instance, once again, as we are talking about the shuhada, to point out to and to remember the Shahidul Qaid. For example, whoever says Shahidul Qaid amongst, the Shia Ummah, they would say it is no one but Shahid Arif al-Hussein. Even though there is Qaid after him, even though there is shuhada after him, but for Arif al-Hussein he is a Shahidul Qaid. And at the same time, not to forget, for instance, Imam Khomeini. I mean, there were scholars before, there were scholars after, but at the same time, we know the fact that these great personalities, they are fully not wanting, they desert, they don't really want these titles. They themselves mention over and over again, and they have mentioned that we are your servant, I am a small student, I am a talib ilm, for example. So therefore, the titles is indeed given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam Khomeini known as Imam Khomeini, even today he is known as Imam Khomeini. Even though people try to say Imam Khamenei, but still it doesn't fit, to be honest. So therefore it is Imam Khomeini, Imam Khomeini. So therefore the title is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and our sixth Imam title, which is As-Sadiq, is indeed, there is enormous amount of hikmah hidden behind it. That Imam Sadiq is the one who lays the foundation, not as established, because the fiqh of the Shia was really established by the Prophet, who laid the foundation and known amongst the schools of thought as, fiqh as-Sadiq. Salat ala Muhammad wa Muhammad. Now pointing out to some of the contributions of the sixth Imam. If we look at the personality of the sixth Imam, we find that his contribution is enormous. When it comes to fiqh, we just said all of the schools of thought, all of the fiqh that we have, they were all his students. When it comes to epistemology, scientific knowledge, you would find that, chemistry, algebra, and as a matter of fact, to point out that book, which also been translated in English as well in other languages, The Superman of Islam, in which it is thoroughly discussed the contribution of our sixth Imam towards modern science. So there's an enormous amount of contribution, even in the path of spirituality, spiritual wayfaring. For example, you might find many sects, many tariqas among Sufis who pay allegiance to our sixth Imam. So therefore his contributions are enormous. And not only that, if you look at it, the way he trained his students, the way he established the university, which had more than 4,000 students, and this itself requires an enormous amount of management. I mean, imagine a school with 10 and 12 students requires so much management. We are talking about a university where he established, where he had so many students, 4,000 and more. A renowned figure among the Islamic Ummah at that time, even today. For instance, you would find a person comes to our sixth Imam and he says that, one of the Manazirah, and he says that, I would like to discuss on the Qira'at of Quran. The sixth Imam says that I have my student Hamran, you discuss with him. Then he says, no, I want to discuss with you. This person comes from Sham, a renowned scholar. And Imam says that if you defeat him, it is as if you have defeated me. Look at the amount of trust. Look at the amount of yaqeen, that how much he has fully trained this scholar in Qira'at of the Quran. He discusses and he fails, and he says that indeed, he is the best. Then after that, he wants to discuss upon the discussion of the lughat, upon the lexicon, upon the language, upon lexicography of Arabic. Then he says, discuss with Aban ibn Taghlab. He was one of the students of the Imam. And if you defeat him, it is as if you have defeated. He failed again. Then after that, he says, I want to discuss on fiqh. He says, discuss with Zurara. If you defeat him, then it is as if you have defeated him. So we find that Imam have trained his student in different fields to utmost perfection, to par excellence, that it was impossible for them to defeat. Hisham ibn Hakam, then he says, you want to discuss on Kalam, on theology. Then Imam says, discuss with Hisham ibn Hakam. Hisham ibn Hakam, who enters the university of Imam being against the Imam. He wasn't really in the support of the Imam, but later on, but with the company, by discussing, by meeting the sixth Imam, he becomes one of the best students. To the extent for whom the Imam says that, oh Hisham, you could even able to count the feathers of the bird that is flying. He was trained so thoroughly by the sixth Imam. Then after which we find one of the well-respected personality among the Islamic Ummah. For example, Hazrat Abu Hanifa. He comes to meet the Imam and complains about that there are 10,000 people who are speaking against the Prophet in Kufa. And here Imam replies that how can I say anything in relation to what's